We just had a pretty amazing video brought out by Bethesda Softworks where they talk about new details when it comes to Starfield. You know, that massive RPG space epic that's going to be an Xbox exclusive game. I wanted to go into depth about the game, but also see what Todd Howard and everyone else had to say about it, because right now these new details show us how big this game is truly going to be. Let's get into it. Hey, what's up everyone? Thanks for stopping by and checking out the video. Remember to hit that subscribe button and that like button. The support is greatly appreciated. And if you want to be notified on future content, make sure to hit that small little bell icon. And if you want to go that extra mile to support the channel, hit that join button. It's much appreciated. Okay, so there is a lot to cover here, and of course there is. Starfield by Bethesda Softworks is probably going to be one of the biggest games of this entire generation. Not just next year or 2022, but the entire Xbox Series X and PS5 generation, which is something that Todd Howard and a lot of the developers talked about in this new video they posted. I mean, let's remember for just a second, this is the same team that made Skyrim, a game that's 10 years old and still has a massive fan base playing it every single day. The same team behind Fallout 4, which again has a massive amount of people playing it currently. That's something that I think people don't understand when it comes to Bethesda games, or what it means for Xbox to have them as a first-party studio. And with this new video of Todd Howard and his team talking, you can see just how excited they are about making this massive space epic. So let's get into what was said and what the article and developers had to say. Starfield is more grounded than Skyrim, but still has that magic step-out moment. Starfield, the upcoming space game from Bethesda Game Studios, is a more grounded experience than Skyrim, but game director Todd Howard says you'll still have that signature experience of stepping out into a marvelous new world. In fact, Howard hints there are two such moments in Starfield. In the first of a new series of videos called Into the Starfield, the RPG's lead developers chat about its lineage and the experience they've brought to bear working on it. It features a few new glimpses of Starfield, both in-game footage and concept art. The developers discuss some of the goals the studio has for Starfield, as well as how its new setting provides opportunities for the team to use their varied talents and interests in fields like robotics and engineering. It's got a more realistic science-based backing to it, our director Matt Cafarno says. Whereas Skyrim is sort of an epic fantasy, this is a more grounded game in a grounded setting about exploration. I think that gives us a different take on how we make everything. Okay, so let's dive into this because there's a lot to talk about. The first thing I want to talk about is that this is a more grounded game. Okay, so let's be real. The reason why Elder Scrolls is so popular is because it's this over-the-top fantasy epic that people can dive into. The world is huge, and there's also endless amounts of things you can explore when it comes to that environment. You get into epic story quests and even bigger side quests in some cases. It's something that only a very few games and developers can even compete with from a sheer scale and gameplay aspect. Yet Starfield, we see they want to keep it a more grounded, something that's going to be set in a more real setting, but have it about exploring and finding new worlds and exploring space. But I do have to admit, we have heard Todd Howard say this is kind of like being a Han Solo, but in a Bethesda game. And if there's one way to describe Han Solo, it's over the top. So for me, I think they have this epic story to tell, but the heart of the game is going to be about exploring new worlds and seeing new things. Because we have to remember here, Fallout 4 and Elder Scrolls are one big giant world, or one big giant city, so to speak. You might find new cities and new areas to explore, but for the most part, you're in the same world, exploring a section of that world. For Starfield, it's different. You'll be going to different planets and different areas that will look completely different than what you've explored previously. Hence why the game director, Matt Carafano, says this is more of a realistic science-based backing to it, because they want you to explore the worlds, find new ways to explore them, and probably go around crazy cities and worlds with different rules when it comes to gravity, environments, and of course harsh environments. And like he says in the quote, this gives them a different take on how they make everything, because they have to make multiple planets that have different biomes and different races and environments. This is basically going to be a game we get lost in space with. But now, let's get into what else is said. Starfield's setting is in a science fiction near future, which could hardly be more different from the Elder Scrolls high fantasy Tamriel. But Howard says it'll still be recognizable as a Bethesda game. The mechanics of the world are entirely different, but there are similarities, he explains. And those are things we like. We like playing first person, we like having all the coffee cups, We like being able to touch everything. The one thing I have to say is that this is going to be a Bethesda game through and through. You'll be able to explore massive planets, look at everything, and of course interact with pretty much everything. So like Todd Howard says, this is going to be a very different game in a very different world when it comes to the mechanics. But of course, this game is going to be built around the brand new engine and it's going to feel familiar, and Bethesda Softworks has been working on this engine for years. They wanted to explore a new engine and make it updated for the current generation of technology after they made Fallout 4. And because of this, everything is going to be different for them, yet it's going to have similarities that everyone is familiar with when it comes to a Bethesda game. In fact, it might have some of the same epic moments that Fallout and Elder Scrolls had, which is something that they talked about right here. You always have that step out moment into the world, Howard said, reflecting on Bethesda games of old. Now technology's changed. We've changed. So our expectations when loading up a game, like, okay, we're going to step out into this moment, us being able to do that and have it feel new every generation, every game, is something that's really special about what we do. I like to say Starfield has 2 step out moments, Howard added. That's cryptic. This is something I completely agree with when it comes to Bethesda games. I don't know what it is, but once they release a game, it's almost like the generation of that console kicks off. I feel the same way for Halo, Grand Theft Auto, or Rockstar games, even something huge from Sony. That one game that kicks things off for that generation, and Bethesda is always one of those studios that a lot of people wait to see what they make. And like Todd Howard says right here, technology changed, and so have they. So the expectations for the game has to be epic. Like he says, with that step out moment, because as a gamer, one of the most memorable moments for me in gaming was me stepping out into the world of Skyrim and being left in awe, or me jumping into Elder Scrolls Oblivion and having my mind blown when I walked out of those sewers and I see the open world. These are true experiences I've only had when I played a Bethesda game, and from the looks of it, Todd Howard says he'll get that step out moment twice. So let me take a swing at this. I have a feeling we'll have 2 step out moments. One is going to be the first world we explore. We'll get this massive rich planet we can explore and we'll be blown away. It's going to be huge with story, exploration, and of course new cool things that we get to look at. And then we'll have another oh snap moment when we get into space and we see just how many planets out there and just how much content is in this game. That's what I think the 2 step out moments is going to be. One is going to be the first planet, the other is going to be the amount of planets in space there is. And I almost feel like every single planet you land on and jump out of is going to be one of those step out moments for everyone. You'll see a cool planet, go into it and start exploring, which will probably be something we've never seen before. And I have to say, this is going to be only on the Xbox Series X when it comes to consoles, but also on PC. So we know it's a next generation game that's going to really push the hardware for this generation. I can't wait to see what else they have for us because there's going to be even more videos like this as the game gets closer to launch. I have a feeling we'll get a few more of these videos leading up to E3 where we'll get huge gameplay reveals. I honestly can't wait because this does look like a massive Bethesda game, but also a space epic. But enough of what I think about this, let me know what you think. Are you excited for Starfield? Does this developer diary make you even more hyped for the game? Is Xbox going to release the biggest game of the generation with Starfield? Do you think we'll see what the new Bethesda engine can do before release? Are you excited that this is an Xbox Series X only game? Go down below and let me know. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please hit that subscribe button and that like button to support us out the channel more than you know. And give me a follow on Twitter at Zalker87. I'm always on there talking games and sharing my latest videos. Plus, I love interacting with everyone there, so get on Twitter and let's talk about gaming. Also, follow me on Xbox Live. My gamertag is Zalker87, just like my channel name. See what games I'm playing, and let's compete in achievements for the month. So right now, I've been playing a lot of games. I've actually jumped into Fallout 4 again. I've jumped into Witcher 3. I'm kind of in flux. I'm waiting for Halo to drop because I want to play that campaign first before I jump into something. But right now, I'm doing the selection phase of a new big game. I'm jumping into The Witcher. I've done Dragon Age Inquisition. And now I'm doing Fallout 4. I'm trying to see which one grabs me and which one I'm going to dive into. I think it's going to be Fallout 4 or Witcher 3 because you know what? Those games are a little more current than Dragon Age, so I'll be jumping into those. And of course, I've been playing Halo Infinite multiplayer because you know what? That's just become a staple now, and of course Rocket League. But let me know what you're playing. Are you playing something on your PC, your Xbox Series X, or your PS5? Let me know down below because that's what we're here for. It's to talk games. And that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and until next time, remember, enjoy your gaming. Later.